Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of three who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode. Hey, welcome back to this week. This week is going to be a fun one. There was definitely a few of you. It was kind of funny after Door to Door Con to have a lot of pest control reps kind of reach out and wanted to know more about pest control. And so we're just going to do a simple Q&A this episode with Golden Door earner Rachel Carroll. This last year, we've done an episode already with her. She's done 3 years in the door-to-door space. Her very first year with zero sales experience whatsoever, did 450 accounts, did 570 pest control accounts her second year, and then her third year did over 1,000 pest control accounts, and now this year transitioning into managing, running a team, and all the good stuff. So say hi for us, Rachel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Again. Okay, so let's just go through some of the questions as some of you guys had reached out to me about them. But one of the questions that you really wanted to know from Rachel was basically just her routine. Like, what exactly did your routine look like when you were going for that 1,000 pest control accounts? Like, what were you doing like each day? Personal study, but to a T, what was your routine?
So it was very, very simple. Like, I honestly did not do much aside from selling. It was pretty much eat, sleep, sell. So I would wake up in the morning around like 8 or so. And then
what time would your guys' meeting be at?
The meetings would usually be at 9.
Oh, wow.
And then I would go to the meetings. I went to the meetings probably like a quarter of the summer. I would go to the meetings, say hi to everyone, do all that, and then get out on the doors. But because I was obviously had this really big goal, sometimes I didn't go to the meetings and I would just go straight out to area most of the time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was by myself.
So you were typically on your first door by like what time?
I tried to hit my first door at like 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So
good for you. So
that's why like I didn't go to the meetings a lot of the times, just because I'm like, I want to be on the doors. Like I just want as much time on the doors as possible. So yeah, most of the time I would just wake up, kind of get dressed, get myself ready, and then leave for area around like 9 or so I could get out on the doors, make sure I'm like hitting my first door by 10.
Wow. And then there's so many people who are still asleep. By the time you're getting your probably first 3 deals, people are just making breakfast to get to area. What did your lunches look like, or did you take how many hours?
Take lunches. I was kind of psycho.
You and I are going to be besties.
It was pretty much just me knocking from 10 to 9 straight.
And so you just kind of like rode by yourself and everything the entire summer.
Yeah. Which was a learning curve in itself, because my last 2 summers I had car partners, but this summer I almost like couldn't really have a car partner because no one wanted to knock as crazy as a schedule as I was. And other people too, when they start at 10, they typically do take lunches, but I don't like to take lunches. Like it's just too long of a break and it just messes me up. So like, if there was a porta potty in the area, great, I would use that. If not, I would maybe take like a 10-minute gas station break, like at most.
Wow.
But it really was just me, like first door by 10 and then knock till dark, which was usually around 9. So just kind of 11 hours straight.
And how many months was this? How many days?
So I started in April and then I ended in October. So.
Okay, so for April, May, June, July, August, September. For 7 months, this girl is knocking from like 10 to 9. Barely any lunch breaks. People to hit that 1,000 pest control accounts like this last year. Like people do not understand the level of dedication that it takes to be a top rep. Like they just don't.
It was rough. Like, and I was trying to do it by September. So I was like planning for like 6 months, April to September. But you know, things happen. Things don't always go as planned. So I had to, unfortunately, knock into October, which was probably the hardest month. But yeah, it was a lot. It definitely was a lot of sacrifice to do it for that long and to have that really insane of a schedule for that long.
I respect you 1,000,000,000%. Like I see so many people who who make excuses. They have like really high goals, but they make excuses like every single day.
Oh, yeah.
So to hear someone your age for 7 months on the doors from 10 to 9 every day to be able to have the freedom that you have right now.
Yeah.
Like, props to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next question, I know that this one is for sure for me. How do you deal with African American hair? And it's been kind of fun to be able to have some of you African women kind of like reach out and kind of like some of the hardships and stuff that you guys are going through during the summer. And I am going to be completely honest. During like my very first few years, just super insecure and things like that, like just figuring out the doors and who I was. Like I was probably too concerned about my hair and too concerned about my skin. I've gotten to a place where I just absolutely own who I am and I love it. And so what I do and the tips that I would suggest to some of you women who are going to be getting into the door-to-door space who are Black is going on Facebook Marketplace and actually just typing in African American hair salons. Like that is it. My hair, my kids, when they see my hair in braids, they will call it the money maker hair. Like they know that when my braids are in, it's because one, I want less to do in the mornings. And so during the summer, I always have my hair in some type of braids or some type of weaves or whatnot. And not because it's like, you know, all this amazing thing. It really is for me just about efficiency. And I have just really owned and loved the Black caramel skin color. And it's rare to see me with makeup, like especially during the summer. So I know that a lot of times, like some of you, like African American women, are kind of concerned with, you know, our skin and acne and things like that, and then just kind of like how do we maintain our hair? Like I would just suggest, well, like sitting down and deciding like what's going to be super important for you. And for me, I just never wore makeup during the summer just because it was super hot and I already knew that my weaves and my braids were going to make me hot. And this is funny because a lot of people don't understand the struggle like in the space, and there are only a few of us colored people and even fewer colored women in this space. So getting into finding someone in your location who can do box braids or who can do some type of crochet or simple braids, it goes a really long way. So when you don't have to worry about that, it just makes it super nice. Okay, so I know that that's going to be for my African women out there. This one is for Rachel. If you can go back to your very first summer in door-to-door, what would you have done differently?
Going back to my first summer, I think I would have tried to just train more and prepare more like before the summer, because like I said, I just knew the words and that was it. But if I had like gained a few more like sales skills and stuff like before the actual summer, I think it would have probably been even better. I think I would have just tried to understand like the industry itself. Like I learned like so much about the industry since, like just everything from like what the other companies are like to, you know, competitors to commission rates and things like that. And I would have just educated myself more like about the industry kind of before like getting into it.
A lot of people don't believe top producers because even people will ask me about like my pitch or about like things or about things like that. And they take for granted like how much time that you guys have right now before summer to train. Yeah. To actually like go and socialize with other people who are where you want to be and role play with them, write out your pitch, do those kinds of things. So I love that you said that you would have went back and trained more. Like
yeah, because I didn't really have like I didn't really know enough, and so I didn't really have like a set goal going into my first year. It was really just like I'm gonna work as hard as I can. Like I'm gonna be the hardest working person on the team. That's all I know. Yeah. But I wish that I had kind of like learned and understood the industry more, so I would have gone out and been like, okay, I'm gonna like do this and have like
you probably would have been like right at 1,000 accounts your first year. Like definitely would have doubled if you had like some of that. I love that.
I was very naive and going in very not
hey, but showing up with the work ethic that you did, like props.
That's what got me through for sure.
Yeah. So it's like for any of you women, like your first year, if all else fails, outwork the person standing next to you.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Like just
the best advice. Yep.
Yeah, just outwork them. I know this one for sure is for me. So how do you deal with mom guilt? And you don't. I know a lot of people are asking about like books and different ways to like, how do you show up, you know, for the hubby? How do you show up for the kids? How do you show up for yourself. And I'll just be like completely honest, like 14 years into this space, being married 12 of the 14 years. I don't even want to say like you get used to it, because even now, like I'm getting ready to leave on a blitz in a couple of days and I'm dreading every second. Like I already miss my kids and I haven't even left yet. It doesn't get easy, like ever. I mean, if someone out there says that it is, like, please, like tell me how. But what I have decided to do is that when I am with them and I do have time and I'm here, I'm with them. When I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm hanging out with the hubby, you know, I am with the hubby. And when we're traveling and investing and doing all these things, I'm like, this is why I do what I do. The freedom for them to be able to, my daughter has a personal tutor and things like that, just because some of the struggles that she has in comparison to her brother. And when we pay that bill every single month, it is a reminder to me why I'm still in door-to-door sales. So that's definitely like something hard, and I want to empathize like towards it, but just be super realistic that if you're going to do what you need to do for your family here in this space, that guilt just doesn't go away, especially if you're a good mom, I feel like. Okay. What was this one? Okay, Rachel, what were some things that you feel like that you've been able to see on your teams, or what were some things that you did to feel safe, like while you were out there knocking doors? Like how did you, or what environment did you create so you didn't worry?
Yeah, I think just making sure that someone knows like where you are. So like my manager always has my location, so he always knew like where I'm at. And then, honestly, that's really just the biggest thing. Fortunately, I've never really I've never really felt unsafe on the doors, like in all my 3 years of doing it. Never had any bad experiences with that. But it's also just making sure, someone knows where you are. So someone's kind of like keeping tabs on you. So they know, nothing's going to happen to you. Yeah. You're not going to feel, unsafe. And with the app that we use to mark our doors and stuff too, I know that there's several people that can see exactly where my last pin was, yes. exactly where I was last if something were to happen. And so just having that reassurance, I'm like, nothing's going to happen, because there's several people that know exactly where I am exactly last, where you are. So,
and what I would suggest to some of you women out there who maybe do feel a little bit nervous and aren't as confident as maybe Rachel and myself of like, oh, nothing's going to happen and things like that, is finding a knocking buddy, or being able to just be on the same street where you can at all times see someone else's head who's on your team, not necessarily like knock the same doors, but at least on each street that you're going to be on while you're going to be knocking, is being able to see like eye to eye or head to head. Another thing that I know some of my girls do is they keep pepper spray. And I think I've used pepper spray more on the animals. I'm not animal cruelty, guys, but these are pit bulls who tried to like bite me and stuff like that. Yeah. But like, yes, also having, kind of like some of those things, but just like Rachel said, like sharing your location. My husband always has like my location and things like that. And I just kind of like let other people know where I'm at. But yes, buddy system, pepper spray, and just making sure your manager is someone on the team. Those are definitely good ones. For me, how have you been able to overcome some of the social norms, such as your husband being the one like staying at home? Honestly, it takes like a partner who knows who they are to be able to not even have this be a factor. Because for my husband and I, he's been a stay-at-home dad for like the last 6 years. And honestly, we kind of did like a coin toss in the sense of like, who was going to get us to our dreams and our vision for our kids quicker, like kind of thing. My husband had a really great job. But I think because of the simple fact that we created like our goals and our visions together, it wasn't about like male or woman. It was about like what is best for our family dynamics. And he loves making school lunches. He loves school drop-offs. Like he loves play dates. Like he loves taking the kids to go hang out with the cousins and all this stuff. I don't. Like, I like to work, and it's not even like to us, we know that in society we look different, and we may seem different to society for people who actually know who we are, but in reality, to us, it's so normal. It's just always just been that way. I mean, even when it comes to cooking, He absolutely love it, and I can barely pour cereal with the right milk. So there are just some things that your partner may be better at, and I don't even think it's about like male, female. I just think that once you guys take the time to sit down and figure out whatever is like the best dynamic for your home, that's what it's going to look like. We're in 2023. I think we're kind of getting out of that phase. Anyways, Rachel, like as you're talking about recruiting and kind of like how it's been a little bit tricky getting male recruits and things like that. One thing that women are wanting to know or understand better is what are some ways or some tools and how they can be able to earn the respect of like male leaders. Like there's a lot of us who are wanting to like move up in this space, but we know that everyone above us are male. Yeah. How have you felt like, what are some of the steps that you've been taking to be able to earn the respect?
So I think first and foremost, just showing them that you can do it. So that's honestly a huge reason why I wanted to go out and sell 1,000 accounts and hit a golden door, because I knew if I did that, no one can take that away from me. Yeah. Like that's a tangible thing that I did. Like, yeah. And so like that's a big thing is just going out and performing, because they have to at least respect you for what you've done. Yep. And then I think just showing that, like, sometimes you have to almost with male leaders give it back to them a little bit. Like, you have to show that you cannot be walked all over. Yeah. Like, just because you're a woman, like, you can do everything that these other guys and male leaders are doing. But sometimes you just have to show that and, like, demand that respect a little bit more. So if they do say something that maybe rubs you the wrong way or that you think they wouldn't have said to a guy and stuff, like call them out on it. Yeah. I think like I'm all about like giving it back to, even though they are like your bosses and stuff, like you do have to give it back to them to an extent sometimes to gain that respect, I think. No,
I agree 1,000%. Like, you know, I feel like this question is kind of like loaded too, because people are like, well, how do I earn it? How do I do it? And it's exactly what Rachel said. Until you can produce and consistently. And I'm not talking about just like half a summer, 1 day, 2 days, 3 months, 1 week, like year after year, month after month, like summer after summer, going out, producing and showing them that you can do it is going to be the first step to earning respect.
Definitely. And I'm still in the process of trying to do that in more of a leadership role, because now I've demonstrated like, okay, I've gained their respect. Everyone knows I can sell. I've been one of the top salesmen in the company the last 3 years, you know. But now it's like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be a good leader this summer and I'm going to have my guys produce. And after that, then it's like, they can't say anything. I just showed you that I was a good leader. I just showed you that my guys produced. And so that's kind of like the biggest thing I'm doing right now is like, I have to prove it to them. I have to prove now that I can be a good leader and I can manage and run not only women, but I can manage and run men too. And I can help them be successful.
1,000%. And I don't even want to make this like a male, like woman thing either, because these men who are in leadership roles, they had to produce too. Like they had to go out and recruit. They had to go. So we just have to do the same thing. Everyone had to
earn their stripes one way or another.
So like going and producing and doing all those things. And so a lot of times, like sometimes rep would be like, oh, well, I bring value in other ways, or I bring value this. In business, the way to grow the business is through revenue, is through production, is through growth. And so if you are adding to the business by recruiting, by growth, by producing, that's where the first steps of value is going to be.
Exactly.
And where you can kind of start change within the company is be valuable first, and then ask for change, and then create it, and then do some of those things. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That's so spot on. It's like if you bring and add value, then the respect of them will come. But it's like you said, you have to bring that value and add the value to the company, whether it is through it's through revenue. It's through revenue. So whether that's you producing yourself, bringing in other reps, training and leading high performing reps, like you have to do that in order to prove yourself. And then, like you said, then you can try and change things if that's, you know, what needs to be done, but the respect will come.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about this like off camera and stuff like that, but because we have similar sales styles, like now as I'm listening here and like talking to us about like leadership and moving up, like it makes sense why we like the sales style that we do. But I want people to kind of hear that, like, what is your favorite type of market to knock in, and what is your go-to like sales style as a female? Like how are you like earning respect with like homeowners on the doors? Like what is your sales style?
So my sales style, I keep it very professional. Like I know there's some other not just girls but guys too that kind of flirt a little bit more with the customer they like to talk a lot. That's really just not me. So like I keep it very professional and to the point. So my favorite type of market is someone that they're not going to waste your time talking to you. I really hate wasting time on the doors. So like I don't really like the overly nice people that will like sit and talk with you but won't necessarily buy, because then you end up wasting a lot of time. So I like the people that are like short and to the point, and you have to have thick skin in markets like that because people will be like ruder. So you'll get a lot more rude people and a lot of harsher no's. But if you can just not think about that, get past those like rude, really hard no's, you just have to think about that in a positive way and think, okay, well, they didn't waste any of my time. Now let me move on to someone that will listen and just be short, direct to the point, nice and quick sales, so that way I can just hit as many doors as possible and keep going throughout the day.
I had a hard time transitioning into solar for that reason, because in the solar space, it is about rapport, connection, doing all of that. But when it came to pest control, like especially the year producing like super high, it is like, I want to be in the market where people are just going to be straight up, not today. Get off my door. Thank you for not wasting my time. On to the next, kind of thing. And I think that also like goes to show with the production and now you wanting to be a leader and moving up, in the space. I think like that sales style, it just makes sense to me. Why that would be you. I love it. So just for the sake of time, we're going to end with this question, which I know is geared towards me. Like, what are your secrets to being in the space so long and having the freedom that you do? And I'll be honest, like this might like sound weird or cliche or anything like that, but I am obsessed with the door-to-door space. Like I absolutely love it here. I hate the drama. I hate a lot of the things that, some days like are crappy and things like that. But because of the success that has come, because of the people that I have met, because of the people who have been like mentors and influencers for me, like it has just provided a stable life for myself, my kids, my husband, and just to be able to meet people like Rachel and freaking like Amy and Melissa and so many people like in this space. Like we're not going to find that like anywhere else. And I just truly believe that we as door-to-door sales reps are going to be huge contributors to change in society. Like there are magnificent people in this space. Like I just have chills thinking about people with the skill sets, having zero sales experience, having no college degree or anything, and being able to come and find the stability, the community, and the mentorship that I've been able to find all these years. And so it's just been super easy for me to be able to create a lifestyle and now turn around and want to be able to see people like Rachel and other women in this space to be able to win. So for those of you women who are wanting to be here a little bit longer, make the summers count. Like when you're out there, like, as opposed to lollygagging and things like that, when you're making the financial, when you're hitting the financial goals that you want to during the summer, it's going to be easier to invest. It's going to be easier to, get a home, property, and things like that. And you are going to want to turn this into a career. But for you, Rachel, like what's been like some of the tips, or why have you stuck around and want to? Like this is year 3 and you're like, I want to move up to be a regional, that's going to be a couple more years. Like what's it been for you wanting to be in this space for as long as you have?
Yeah, definitely. I think it really is such an incredible opportunity. I always just like sometimes have to take a step back and I'm just like in awe of honestly like how successful you can be and how much money there is to be made.
Yeah.
Out of like, again, starting with no sales skills. It's like, it's kind of crazy that it's like anyone can do this job. Like I graduated with 2 degrees. There's other jobs that I could go and get, but I look at it and I'm like, I would be having to work like 9 to 5, 12 months out of the year and to make a fraction of what I would make in this. And it's just, it's crazy. And I'm like, would not want to do that.
Yeah.
And also I don't want to go back to, 9 to 5 where I'm having to stare at an Excel spreadsheet on a computer all day.
1,000%.
Like, this job is great because it's like, obviously there's just, it's crazy how much money there is to be made, but also I love it because of like the connections and the relationships that you build with people. It's not me just going into, being a slave to some job that I don't really love. It's me being able to work with some of my best friends and me being able to bring in new people to the company and give them the same opportunity that I've been giving, and just building these really, really great like relationships and connections with people and helping them to build their dream life as well.
I've got the chills. For those of you women who are in this space, like, don't take it for granted. Like, take your time seriously. Like, this is an amazing space. And for those of you guys who are looking into the space, like, know that you too can find success with just a little bit of work ethic. And those of you guys who are looking to lead or get to your destination a lot quicker, stop being shy to share this experience with other human beings. Like, we need more people to know, like, just how cool the door-to-door space. And how are people going to know if you guys aren't taking the time to actually share your stories, invite your friends, invite your siblings, invite people into the door-to-door space? Again, for those of you women out there who are looking for tips and who are looking for mentorship or anything like that, reach out to Rachel. You can find her on, I already forgot her handle.
It's okay. It's at Rachel_Carroll.
Yes, or continue sending us your questions and we'll try to get them next time. Thanks for being here. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time to tune in. If I've added any kind of value to your thoughts on knocking doors, please share this podcast with another female rep. Until next time, know that you are capable, you are valued, and most importantly, you are enough.